Oh man, here we go. Jeff Gordon's 2004 season. Get your popcorn and snacks ready. We're about to go into all. This is Jeff Gordon's championship seasons that unfortunately didn't happen. This is Jeff Gordon's 2004 season. Let's backtrack a bit. In 2003, Jeff Gordon's 2004 season, had a fight off, almost won the championship, came close, but unfortunately lost to Matt Kenseth in the Roush in Roush Racing. At the time, Roush Racing was probably the best team on the grid at that time span, but unfortunately, in 2004, they came up short. So that's your score for the time being. Let's head into Talladega. At Talladega Super Speedway, had to fight off Dale Jarrett Earnhardt, more people, and a ton of other drivers for that win. Kevin Harvick, and more for that Talladega earned victory that he won. That was Jeff Gordon's first and only win on the Super Speedway. Fast forward to Auto Club, him versus Casey Kane, battling out for most of the race, battling 1-2 for majority of that race, along with a ton of other front runners. It was a pretty weird race to see back markers up in that field. But however, there were some good races. Him and Casey Kane were doing out most of the race. It was a tight, fought battle that Jeff Gordon will never forget. So, ended up leading a ton of laps, going home with the victory that day at the Auto Club 500, winning tons of races. That was mostly his priority and the goal for himself. So here we go. And during that race, there were some Roush guys up in the pack during that race. Most of them were up during that race, but not a ton of them. But, however, Jeff Gordon, unfortunately, almost screwed up because the lap traffic was in the way. But Casey Kane almost came up close to that victory. But Jeff Gordon took the checkered flag that day, beat Casey Kane for the victory. Jeff victory relaying celebration, it says it all. Got win, almost ran out of gas by a wild clutch race. And man, what a race that was indeed. Between him and Jimmy Johnson was a powerhouse during that race. Hedrick was the powerhouse during that race. And in my opinion, did well. So let's head into it. Jeff Gordon win in 2004. At the time, he was in the points league. So still in the points league heading into that race. Did absolutely incredible at race. Man, what a race that was for him. Him and Baba, and also during when he was pulling through the race, him and Baba O'Bani gave him a pat on the back for winning that tough race. Hard race to hold off Casey Kane. Oh man, what a race that was for him. Really intense race. So going into the next race, fast forward a few weeks later into Sonoma between him and Robbie Gordon for that win. So tough race for Jeff Gordon to win. That was his first and only road course race. So let's dive deeper into the race. He was battling mid-pack most of the race, battling most likely in the top 15 for majority of that race. Tough, long, and fought for the day for Jeff Gordon's race at Sonoma. Got that victory, he pulled through, got that win, and oh man, it was a tough race for him. So we got very tough race gone through, and everything in between. Really hard to pick what he did. Trying to hold off some of the more bigger Roush guys when at the time Roush powerhouse NASCAR at the time from 2003 and 2004, and also a bit of JGR every now and then. And also, RCR was one of the top teams too in the Cups in the NASCAR Cup Series during that time span. So, Jeff Gordon's Sonoma win, skilling the points. He was skilling the points lead after that race. It was a tight gap between him and the other 9 other drivers that were in that chase. It was tough because the Roush guys were all in there, so you have to go against him. It was him, Jimmy Johnson, and the Roush guys going against each other. And unfortunately, a long race where Jeff Gordon had to fight and fight. But most likely, Jeff Gordon didn't. He did make Pat most of the race at Sonoma. But back marker, there was the 41 team trailing behind him, and Rusty Wall was in that two. So it was between him and him. It was a long race between him and two other drivers for that particular victory. So, a big race for Jeff Gordon. That was his first and only race win on the road course in 2004. He had to navigate the S's and all of that to get that victory that day. And Jeff Gordon's 2004 season will ever be a big goal for him that he accomplished in that time span. So, but in my opinion, Jeff Gordon's 2004 season was a big season for him. It was a big race for him to win. A huge race win for him. It was a huge win. Got that victory in clutch fashion too. It was unbelievable. A very good race for him. We're going to head into the championship race. So here we go. Unfortunately, Jeff Gordon starting pretty well. It was a battle between him and Kurt Busch for that 2004 championship, and Jimmy Johnson. Those 3 drivers were going for the championship in 2004 in the inaugural NASCAR Mexico season. We could top 10 going into the series, but it was a long race to be hard at. Fought full game at Hicks fight for, but man, it was tough. Pretty cool race. It was a good race overall for Kurt Busch. Everything did go well for Kurt Busch, but unfortunately, almost missing the picks. Coming down for a pit stop, almost ended Kurt Busch's day, and Jeff Gordon will won if that didn't happen. But Jeff Gordon overall did well. In the end, Jeff Gordon's 2004 season, however, will be one of his most infamous seasons that he had. So I'm gonna pass it down to you. What do you think Jeff Gordon's 2004 season? It could have been better. It could have been worse. It was an average season for Jeff Gordon, most likely. And in that finale race, tough race for him. Almost screwed up in that race. So let's get going. Let's get moving. Heading into the Pepsi 400, Jeff Gordon had that points lead in that summer race, but it was a tough race between him, Dale Earnhardt Jr., ton of other guys in that pack going. He was going for that victory, but overall, tough race for Jeff Gordon. He held on by winning by 5 car lengths, and almost broke away with that pack early in the race. But most of the race, it was the Hedrick cars did dominate most of that race. RCR and DI were up there every event in there, but in that middle of the race, Jeff Gordon almost screw up at one point. Almost messed up in that one part. But in the end, Jeff Gordon's 2004 Pepsi 400 race got that race win. Tough race for Gordon. Very good race. In that 2-lap span, during that time span, Jeff Gordon's 2004, it was between him, ton of other drivers, and it was between him and a ton in around about him. Tough race. Most likely, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kurt Busch were working together most of that race, and Jeff Gordon was driving with Jimmy Johnson. It was those 4 drivers, 4 would go 2 laps to go in that span. So let's keep it going here. Jeff Gordon's 2004 Pepsi 400 win. It was a huge win for Gordon in his career during that household part he had. So Gordon over a win in that Pepsi $1 billion car I absolutely love. But Jimmy Johnson fighting down there, trying to get a Pepsi 400 win, but came up short in that race. And Jeff Gordon went out to victory lane, winning the 2004 Pepsi 400. So let's get going into the home skirt race. There were a bunch of news headlines heading into that race. Kurt Busch could he get that win? Could he be one of the Hedrick Motorsports drivers trying to claim victory and win the championship? Unfortunately, that didn't happen for Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson. They came up short, finishing second, finishing third for Jeff Gordon. And also finishing behind and also in front of his teammate in the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet, Jimmy Johnson. But overall, it was a tough race for him. Between him and Jeff Gordon, it was a huge race win for Kurt Busch to lose. But unfortunately, Kurt Busch almost screwed up in that race. Early in that race, Kurt Busch almost screwed up and ended up missing the pit entrance. So it was a tough race for him to win. Unfortunately, he lost finish third. So we're gonna head down to you guys. What do you think about Jeff Gordon's 2004 season? Do you think it was a good season just because he won those 4 races? I think so. It was a good race for him. But after 2004, Jeff Gordon's 2005 season was kind of miserable. Multiple DNFs, especially a lot of big wrecks earlier on. But winning for 3 wins in the first 9 races. And at the time, Roush was a powerhouse team during that time span. Even though Roush didn't win the championship in 2005, and then Tony Stewart could win that championship. So, looking back on this, I think Jeff Gordon's 2004 season, fantastic season as always. Ended up winning 4 races. It's tough races for him to win. Everybody knows Jeff Gordon will always be a GOAT, in my opinion, will be one. He did really well in that particular championship run. Came up short, fought everything he earned. And in my opinion, after 2007-ish was probably when Jeff Gordon started to fall apart. He was already past his prime after that, and also past his prime and also pretty much over for Hedrick Motorsports, in my opinion, because Joe Gibbs Racing, in my opinion, and Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota took over for that 4-year margin, and then Team Penske took over for this, and still to this day is still doing well. So, what makes you most on Jeff Gordon's 2004 season? I think, in my opinion, I would give it one word: perfect. So it's pretty hard to get some races. And once again, gotta do it for another video, because this is NASCAR Penske 64. Catch you guys.